Welcome to Resting Binge Face, where two friends binge watch seasons of blockbuster TV shows and they talk about it. I'm Adam McCoy.
And I'm Amanda Kathleen. Adam and I work in TV. We watch a lot of TV. If we were bounty hunters, we would try to bounty hunt TV and then save TV because we would realize bad guys would want TV.
We're going to protect that TV.
You can't have TV. It's our TV. That leads us into what we're binging this week. The Mandalorian Season 1.
On Disney Plus.
Whoop, whoop.
Our first Disney Plus.
First Disney Plus. And probably, it's because that's really the only thing on Disney Plus.
For now.
So, Adam, do you have some knowledge to drop about the ever-expanding Mandalorian in the Star Wars universe?
Yes, it's such a vast universe. A galaxy far, far away.
I'm sure there's so much information.
There's so many rabbit holes you can go down.
That's what I was going to say.
Because I was unfamiliar with, I've heard the term Mandalorian, but I did not watch any of the Clone Wars stuff. I've only seen the films in the Star Wars universe. Mm-hmm. There's a whole backstory.
There's people a lot happening.
So if you're familiar with all that, then
you're
Mandalorian's
good.
Like, I know everything. To those of us who didn't, it's like, oh, okay. It's not Boba Fett.
I thought it was going to be him.
Yeah, a lot of people did. So yes, this is the first major series created for Disney Plus. He's the head writer. He's the showrunner. He's the executive producer. Jon Favreau.
Oh, yeah, Favreau.
Yeah. He's Disney's golden boy right now.
He's killing it.
Lion King, and
the Jungle Book.
The Jungle Book. Yeah. So that's actually when
Iron Man
he
2.
first. Oh yeah, that's right. Well, that wasn't Disney at the time, but
other movies.
Elf wasn't Disney, but he first had the idea for this when he was working on the live-action Lion King in 2017.
Oh, really?
So that's when he first had the idea for it. And before that, there were plans to make a Star Wars series all the way back in 2009. And this is with George Lucas before Disney got the rights.
Right.
So their plan, it's such a wide scope. They were planned to having over 100 episodes. 42-minute episodes were planned in this whole Star Wars universe.
Oh, my goodness.
They already had 50 scripts written.
What?
But they realized they were way too expensive. It was going to take too much to make, so they just scrapped the whole idea.
It's like a movie.
It's like, funny you mentioned that. So Rogue One actually started. That's a script for one of the episodes. So was Solo, the Han Solo.
Goodness.
That was going to be an
Every
episode.
spinoff ever.
Yeah, pretty much everything. But nothing ever came from those. And then Disney bought the rights to Lucasfilms was like, hey, we're still thinking about this. And then Favreau had the idea, like, this sounds good. And he had the idea for Baby Yoda. Like that was the main crux of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He had that idea all the way back then. And he's working with Donald Glover from The Lion King. He does the voice of Simba. Mm-hmm. And it's Donald Glover's idea to keep the whole Baby Yoda thing a secret. He's like, you can't tell anybody this. He's like, nobody's surprised anymore. Everybody loves to be surprised.
Yes.
When Beyonce just releases an album out of nowhere on the internet, everyone's like,
everyone
what?
Loves it.
And it gets so much more attention and media than it would if you just tried to promote it. So they kept it under wraps.
Thank God for Donald Glover.
Yes, he saved it. And so much so that they wouldn't even show the first episode to anybody before it streamed.
Oh, really?
Like they didn't give it screeners to
the press and stuff?
Yeah, anybody.
Wow.
So that they thought normally that happens if the show's bad. They're like, ooh, they're not even giving us a glimpse of the show before.
Right.
But since it's in the end of the first episode where you see that, they were nope, we're not going to let anybody see it.
Wow.
So nobody knew besides those in the loop that it was going to happen.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a neat. They don't really have that much anymore. So many things are spoiled.
Yeah.
Well before they're ever, produced.
Bless you, Donald Glover.
Yeah, you did it. So they kept it a secret.
Uh-huh.
The show finally came out.
Yeah.
Everyone went nuts for it. But when the show first came out and Disney Plus first had it, streaming rights weren't quite available in all the countries yet. Like America was ready, but in South America and some other places. So it quickly became the most illegally downloaded show in the world. Like up there with Game of Thrones. Ranked, like as much as Game of Thrones ever was. Because everyone's like, Baby Yoda, I got to see it.
Yeah.
Especially in South America and Latin American countries, because it already has Spanish subtitles. Like they already had it dubbed in Spanish.
Yeah.
So you could get a Spanish dubbed version of it.
It's easy for them to go watch it.
So it's all Baby Yoda's fault.
That's crazy.
Copyright infringement.
Oh, Baby Yoda.
So great critical response.
Mm-hmm.
Fans, viewers loved it.
Yeah.
It's already been approved for a second season.
Yes.
It's going to start October of this year. Yes. It's going to air. And it's rumored, almost more than a rumor at this point, that there's going to be a prequel movie that they're making.
Okay.
About how he came to be
the Mandalorian.
Even though you see
right, you get a little bit.
You get a little more of him,
and then
like training and everything.
I mean, I'm assuming they'll put more in the second season too, right?
They have to a little bit, but when they establish it, I don't know. Anyway, the movie rights, kid. You gotta save it for the movie rights.
Save it for the movie rights.
Yeah. So there's a lot of, I mean, it's Star Wars. There's tons of Easter eggs.
Right.
In the first episode, whenever he kidnaps, when he gets the bounty on the first guy he gets the bounty of, he says,
right.
You know, I got to get home for Life Day. And if you remember Life Day is, it's like the main point of the horrible Christmas special that was released.
Oh.
That's all about Life Day. So it's kind of an inside joke, which I thought was hilarious.
Where is our Christmas special, Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Because how am I supposed to know that? How am I supposed to get the reference if you don't show
You've
me the Christmas
never seen the
special?
1978 horrible Wookiee Christmas special?
No, because I was literally born.
Well, I wasn't born either, but I've seen it since.
I need to watch this.
Okay, so have you heard of it before?
Yes, of course.
Okay, it's atrocious. I have it. I'll let you borrow it.
Oh, sweet. If anybody wants to watch it, Adam will totally let you borrow it.
I'll totally let you borrow it.
Yeah.
It's fine. But the whole crux of that is they got to get back for Life Day, and they make that little reference, which I thought was fun. Horatio Sands plays the alien
the guy.
in also, one of the bounties that are stuck in carbonite when they're going through them all is George Lucas. They made a cast of George Lucas's face.
Who would know that?
Nerds like me.
I mean, did you watch it thoroughly to find the Easter eggs?
I did. I read that part. I didn't actually notice that part.
Because someone out there is watching it like 50 times.
Yeah.
To get all these Easter eggs.
I've seen it quite a few already. Not 50. Yeah, so that's just, I mean, literally you could
a little bit. I know.
So much stuff. I tried to research all the Mandalorian and the people and all the I'm just like, I'm overwhelmed. I watch the movies. I'm a fan of the movies.
Yeah.
I'm not like an uber.
Right.
Ooh, in episode 4, this happens. I'm not that into it. Yeah, there's so much stuff you can't even begin to name it all.
It's like it's a show for everyone. For like casual watchers, people who just watch the movies, people who watch like everything.
And if you're one of the Uber fans, there's Easter eggs and stuff for you in that.
Yeah.
I think it's fun.
Yeah. So that's cool. Adam's done dropping knowledge, so we're going to get our season 1 on right now. This is your spoiler warning. If you haven't watched The Mandalorian, who are you? Where have you been?
Yeah.
It's on Disney Plus. You get a free 7-day trial.
You could knock that show out quick.
Like in a day. You could do it. You can knock out pretty much any Disney thing you want to watch real quick and then end it real quick. So this is not an ad for Disney Plus. I'm telling you they have a 7-day free trial.
Not a sponsor.
Not sponsored. Okay. Mandalorian overview. After the fall of the Empire. That's episode 6, people. There is still a need for bounty hunters. The Mandalorian is given a bounty to hunt. And chaos ensues. He finds his bounty, and it's none other than Baby Yoda. Now he must protect this precious child from the underground empire.
Who are fearful of it, and they want to study it.
I think they want his magical powers.
Yeah, he's a wizard.
He's a wizard, Harry. So that's pretty much the overview. It's a very simple story, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a Western.
Yeah, really, the only spoiler that you have is Baby Yoda, which everybody knows. Other than that,
which really upset me because, you know.
It would have been nice to be like,
what?
Yeah.
Because I didn't watch it right away. And then you're like, oh.
So I guess they saved it till the very first day that it aired. Then everybody knew about it.
Because everyone was posting about it.
But that's why there was that huge outcry, because they were keeping it under such wraps that they didn't even have the merchandise ready for Christmas, which was
they should have. Okay.
Huge missed opportunity.
First off, if anybody hasn't seen, they should go on Netflix and watch The Toys That Made Us. Because there's a Star Wars episode, and it specifically states what had happened that just happened. Like, they made Star Wars.
No.
The need for toys arose, and they didn't have it in time.
And that's why now
someone should learn from the past.
In every other, besides this one, every other time that a new Star Wars movie has come out, there have been things that have been ruined because you'll see characters that are released.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
In the toys, you're like, oh, this so-and-so's in it.
Yeah, I remember that in the 90s.
Or even,
like, it was a big deal.
Even Avengers, like, there are certain things you see in Avengers.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh, Smart Hulk's going to be in this one, apparently, because there's his figurine.
I mean, like, just don't show that one. Why do you have to, like, show... Yeah. Make it a mystery toy. Whatever. Anyways, the characters in The Mandalorian are obviously The Mandalorian, who is the fantastic Pedro Pascal.
The Viper.
From Game of Thrones. If you don't watch Game of Thrones, he's from Game of Thrones. Yep. Okay, all right. Or...
The Mentalist.
Or... the show on Netflix, Narcos.
Mm-hmm.
He's on Narcos.
Kingsman 2.
Other things.
Yeah.
You know, IMDb.
You see him, you'll
It's a
recognize
source. First of all, they should just name the show Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally Baby Yoda everywhere.
That's all anybody cares about.
Like, he's the cutest thing in the world. And the fact that they made him a puppet and they weren't going to make him a puppet.
Yeah.
Is like, I'm so glad Jon Favreau was like, no, we're making him a puppet.
Have it, yeah.
Yeah. Because it just makes him 10 times more cuter. And then everyone's favorite, Carl Weathers as Grief Karga.
Yeah.
He's the one that sends the Mandalorian out to get the Baby Yoda bounty.
Yeah, he handles all the bounty hunters. He puts out the bounties.
Yeah. He's the madam of bounty hunters. And then like you have like other well-known people that show up. Like Werner Herzog is the client, the bad guy, and then you have Nick Nolte as how do you say his name?
Little alien who rides things and has a deep voice.
It's like Kuiil. Why is there two I's in it?
You're not pronouncing my name correctly. I think you need to pronounce it better than that.
They don't say a whole lot of names in the show.
No.
They're just like, hey,
I'm gonna admit,
let's go do this.
I've seen this show 3 times completely through. And I don't remember the Mandalorian's real name. What they call him.
Because nobody calls anybody
him Mando,
anything.
I think, but I don't remember.
They call him Mando for short because his name is Mando. He's the.
But he has a name.
Yes, he does.
And they mentioned it in there, and I totally forget it.
Amy Sedaris is in it for a hot second. She's hilarious. She's interacting with Baby Yoda, and then Taika Waititi plays IG-11, who's a robot. Mm-hmm. He's a bounty hunting robot, and the Mandalorian freaking hates robots.
Yes,
because they killed his parents. He hates them.
But this robot's kind of funny.
Yeah. And then at the end, of course, the terrible scene of the stormtroopers punching Baby Yoda in the bag.
Yeah.
It's Jason Sudeikis, and I forget the other guy's name, but Jason Sudeikis is the one.
Yes. Is it Adam Page?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's his face? Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
And I heard a story on that where he punched it.
Yeah.
Too hard.
Oh.
And they were like, that's like a $75,000 puppet, right?
Oh.
So he's like, oh, okay. I'm a little worried about
they should have let him know right beforehand. Like, be gentle.
I think it was in a bag. They could have put anything in there. I don't think you really saw
they could have put anything. Well, I think there's one shot where Baby Yoda bites him.
That's right. Yeah.
And then he punches him. That's probably the shot they're referring to.
It may have even been more than 75,000. It was a lot because it's got all the moving parts.
But it looks really good. That's probably why it's 75,000.
Yeah, I think it's. I'm sorry, I'm saying it. I think it's more than that. Like I think it's like a lot. Like we only have one of those, and they're really expensive. Don't mess it up.
Don't do it.
So make it look like you're hitting them hard, but don't really hit them hard.
No, don't do that.
Act.
So Adam, what do you think of The Mandalorian? I mean, you watched it like 3 times.
I loved The Mandalorian.
It's very good.
I started watching it at home. My brother-in-law was in town. He didn't have Disney Plus. He was excited. He stayed for 4 days. We watched the whole thing. My son walked in halfway through episode 4. He started watching it. And then he wanted to watch it all again. So I sat down and watched it all again with him. And then somehow we watched it all again
for a
third time. And it didn't get old.
You loved it each time.
A couple episodes, I'm like, all right. Like when he's on the planet, he's trying to defend the area with the people. That got a little, it's not quite as good. But it was even after a third watching, I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think it's my favorite Star Wars. Like if I had to pick, I think it's my favorite out of all the Star Wars.
It definitely has the most rewatchability.
One.
Back to back for sure.
I mean, I can watch 4, 5, 6 back to back, but yes, as far as something that's entertaining and it's kind of nostalgic of the 4, 5, and 6, it's definitely number 1.
My wife enjoyed it. She doesn't hate Star Wars. She's not a huge fan,
right?
But she sat and watched that and got very interested in the show.
Oh, there you go.
And my kids who love the originals, 4, 5, and 6,
right?
Loved this.
Right.
They really don't like the prequels, obviously.
Obviously.
And even the newest ones, they're like, I can go either way on
right.
those. But this is, I think it's much closer to the original.
It is. It's much closer.
Of the original
It's
Star
like,
Wars.
you know, like how Rogue One is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's definitely in the, well, Rogue One was a script for the original
I know.
series. So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, it was just it was fun. It was very well done.
It was fun.
Visually, it looked amazing. It looked so much better than
really good.
George Lucas's like
It
redo
really
of the originals.
Yes.
Like, ugh. This was very effective.
Yeah, the cinematography was fantastic. The acting was real good.
Even the seat, like the blending of the bounty hunting robot CGI, like it looked very realistic.
It looked good.
Not, you know, some of the animals they were riding were a little, but overall it was fantastic.
Yeah, the action scenes were done really well. Baby Yoda obviously is fantastic. Like, he's the cutest damn thing in that whole freaking show. Like, I just want to see more Mandalorian and Baby Yoda interacting. Their adventures
will continue next season. We'll have adolescent Yoda.
I don't want adolescent Yoda. Although my husband brought up a good point. Like, the child's supposed to be like 50 years old. But like the Empire had had been gone for like what, 5 years?
5 years.
So like, what the fuck?
He was around. We can save our pet peeves for later because I have a couple associated with that as well. Okay. Yeah. Let's.
But there's a weird time thing there that I'm gonna forget because I like the show so much.
Yeah, you gotta kind of let it go. I had a there's a major problem with his age, which I'll get to later in the math. That I had a big problem, but I let it go pretty quick because I enjoyed it so much. I only have a few negative things to say about it, and they're all kind of nitpicky. Right. But we can go into that now or later.
Let's go to it now.
All right.
Because we love it so much.
Yoda.
Let's just talk about what we don't like.
Baby Yoda is 50 years old.
He's 50 years old.
And I would say in human years, he's equivalent to a toddler.
Right? He is. Yeah. He can't even talk yet.
Real Yoda, was like 900 years old.
He was freaking old.
And he was like old and
he was crotchety.
Yeah. If it takes 50 years to become the equivalent of a toddler in the Yoda species, and he was only 900 years old, that means that equivalently, he's only going to be, that would only be like an 18-year-old in human years. Right. When Yoda's 900 years old and almost, so old and weak. Right. It'd be the equivalent of an 18-year-old. Why would it take 50 years to age to a toddler stage? Like, that part was kind of like, I don't understand the math on that.
I think we were discussing it. I think maybe we came up with the idea of like, it was sort of like a frog, like a tadpole type situation where it was like.
It takes a long time to get to it.
Right. And then now that he's there, maybe he'll age progressively.
So like in 10 years, he's a full-grown adult now. So it takes 6 years to become an adult. Then you have 840 years to live. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe he is. Maybe 50 years is like he literally is an egg for 48 years. Right.
Like it's a slow progression. Who knows?
That part was a lot. But also, what really got me, speaking to what you were saying earlier about it's only been 5 years since the fall. Right? It's only been 5 years and nobody knows, like, what is this thing?
I know.
I've never seen one.
They're so confused about like Jedi powers and stuff. Like, no one's heard about that.
There's something about that. I remember
everyone was freaking cheering at the end of the episode 6. Everyone should know who Luke Skywalker is
and Yoda.
And, exactly, and like Jedi powers. I don't understand. Who did they live on a rock?
Well, a couple of rocks. Yeah.
Like even the girl, the Mandalorian's friend.
Oh, the warrior woman.
The warrior woman.
The UFC fighter. Yeah. Whatever her name is. Yeah.
Even like she worked for the Republic and she didn't even know what was happening. I was like, you of all people should know.
Well, that's why when I finally looked up and I saw that it was only 5 years later, I'm like, this is stupid. Wait, what?
I know. Why isn't it longer?
I think it's
because it conflicts with the other movies.
Billy Madison came out 25 years ago, and it still feels like I just watched the movie. I think you'd remember lightsabers and Jedis from 5 years ago.
Yes.
And Darth Vader in the fall. You would remember all that.
I mean,
a little convenient.
Even Rey has heard about Jedis.
Yeah, she has a helmet from the Jedi, fighter pilots.
No one else knows. Just Rey knows. Just Rey knew that, like what is it, like 25 years later or something? Rey knew, but no one else knows.
It actually takes place only 6 years before Rey was born, is what I read.
Oh, it does it?
So it's 6 years before she was born, 5 years after the fall. So
I think the biggest pet peeve is the math about Yoda. I think that's probably my biggest pet peeve, but I don't really have any other pet peeves as far as the show goes.
My other pet peeve is and this is stupid, but he's not quite as good of a, I guess, fighter, bounty hunter. He seems to have a lot of problems. I know you can't have, that's the problem with creating a show around like characters supposed to be like all that. You can't have them be impervious to things all the time.
No, you can't.
Because then it's like,
how do they grow?
So sometimes I'm like, you seem kind of easily defeated at this point. Some of it's cool. Anyway, although that's the same thing that goes with Boba Fett because he didn't do much. He has very little screen time. And everyone's like, he's amazing. And
you really don't really see him very often.
He fell down and then something ate him. Oh, well.
So at least the Mandalorian has more. You see him do more things. I mean, he's not like 007 over here, you know. But like he gets the job done. You know, he finds his bounties.
He almost dies.
He almost dies several times.
It's a real story.
It's a real story about a man. It's very It's very Western. There's hardly a lot of dialogue.
It's very reminiscent of Westerns and also like some old Japanese like samurai.
Yeah.
I forget the name of the movie, but there's one where the samurai is walking with a child, like he's taking care of a baby as he goes throughout. That's some parallels there, which I think I think work. I think it works really well.
Yeah, I think they do it really well, and I even like that you don't see the Mandalorian's face until like towards the end.
Yes.
And I like that the robot is the one that sees him because he's
not alive.
Yeah. So I really like all the parallels. I like the storyline. I'm very interested to find out what happens next season. Are they gonna? I really want them to go in depth of like, who is the child? What species is he or she? It could be a girl. You don't know. We don't know.
Maybe it's Yoda's kid.
My husband pointed out that in one of the prequels, there's a lady Yoda.
There's a female Yoda. Yeah, that's the only other Yoda species shown. Right. It's Yoda, and I think her name is like Yoda something else. Like it's a version of Yoda. Is the name how the name is pronounced.
Maybe that's her child.
Maybe it's her child. Mm-hmm.
I mean, the prequels was like what 50 years ago.
Maybe Yoda has been reborn through the Force, and this is actually Yoda.
Actually, that's my husband's theory.
Trying to throw everybody off by saying he's not Baby Yoda, but maybe it is
Baby Yoda because he makes it a point to say it's not Yoda. He's like,
stop saying that,
Baby Yoda. It's the child.
Well, flashback to Lost. It's not purgatory,
Dun-na-na.
guys. It's not purgatory. Last episode.
Oh wait, it is purgatory.
By the way, it's purgatory. You guys figured
FYI.
it out. So you're right. Yeah.
It's Baby Yoda forced itself into the world. But if it's 50 years old, it can't really be Yoda, right?
No, you're right.
But maybe it's the spawn of Yoda. Maybe Yoda got with Lady Yoda in the prequels. And then Lady Yoda had Yoda. And then Baby Yoda. And then Man Yoda was like, I can't take care of this kid. And she's like, you can just leave then. And then she was a single parent.
Cigarettes I must get. Bye.
And then she was forced to raise this child alone. And then, of course, Darth Vader killed everybody.
That's right.
Right? And then the baby was just there. And then he never knew about it. He never knew that she died, maybe. Or he did know, and he was like, fuck that kid. Not my kid.
As is the Yoda way.
There's so much that could be happening next season.
Just the possibilities are endless.
Who is this child? So Adam, what would you say your favorite episode is?
My favorite, I don't. Oh man.
Every episode.
I think the last two episodes are probably my favorite.
They're real good.
That's when it really starts getting together. I also have a love-hate relationship with the episode, and I can't remember the title of it, when he goes in the ship, and it's with the one with Bill Burr, and he goes in with all the other group.
Oh yeah.
I really like it at points. I also think it's kind of stupid at points. But it's a fun episode.
It is. It's a fun episode.
Bill Burr does a great job.
It's different. They have to go to a prison.
Yes.
They have to get someone out of prison. You also see more of that species with like the tentacle heads.
Yeah.
You know?
The dancing woman from alien species.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is
So it was nice to incorporate more of those characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That you just touch on.
And then they brought back the I can't remember the name of the alien species, but it's the one Jon Favreau voiced in Solo, the pilot guy with the 4. That species was back. So it's kind of there's some interesting tie-ins in the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the last 2 episodes are probably my favorite.
I love the pilot.
I think
the
really
pilot's
good.
fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a very well done pilot. It's hard to make a good pilot these days, so
It is.
I think that's probably one of my favorites. The one with Amy Sedaris is probably my favorite.
She's
also,
hilarious.
she's freaking hilarious. I hope she comes back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure he's gonna get like his shipwrecked, right?
Yeah.
And then she'll
She
have
has
to like
fix it again.
she'll have to like babysit Baby Yoda again. That'll be great.
Yeah. The number of comedians that were in this.
It was so good.
Was really good.
Yeah.
Besides this
great.
stupid nitpicky stuff that I'm talking about, one of my favorite shows that I've seen in the last couple of years. Like,
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
it's definitely up there.
I told you it's my favorite Star Wars. So bingeability wise, we're doing it. We're doing a 5.
Obviously.
Ding ding ding.
This is the first time we've given them 2 5s, I believe.
No, Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, but to your point earlier, that
This
really
actually
doesn't
might
count.
be better than Game of Thrones if it ends
let's put
the
it
way it
this
should
way.
end.
For only being 4 hours of content.
Right.
If you just watch the first 4 hours of Game of Thrones
Yeah.
versus this entire series,
Mm-hmm.
Mandalorian's better than that.
I hate to say it because Game of Thrones
Blasphemy.
has a special place in my heart,
Mm-hmm.
but it might end up being better than.
If you're talking pound for pound
Mhm.
entertainment value, Mandalorian's better. Okay,
Yeah.
murder us in the comments.
Okay, that leads us into our last segment, Snack Attack. What were you eating while binging Mandalorian? What were you eating, Adam?
Which time?
Anytime. What was your favorite snack while you were binging Mandalorian for 1, 2, or 3?
We made a big batch of chili when my brother
Chili?
visited, so
That's good.
snuggling up on the couch with a bowl
Eating
of
some chili.
Yeah,
It's cold outside.
mm-hmm.
Watching The Mandalorian. Eating some chili.
It's pretty good chili.
Well, if you want to throw together a Mandalorian party and watch it for like the 5th time,
Woohoo!
Adam, I have some snacks for you. Number 1, Wookiee cookies. I feel like you could pick any cookie and call it a Wookiee cookie.
Just sprinkle hair on it.
Just put some some coconut, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Paint
Shaved
it brown?
coconut,
I don't know.
dyed coconut.
You could also do brown icing, chocolate icing, throw some of that on top. Make it a Wookiee cookie. What goes great with Wookiee cookies? But blue milk. Pick any flavor milk you want.
Straight from the
Almond,
source.
Coconut, regular. Put some
Mhm.
blue food dye in it.
There you go.
Blue milk. Or, as Star Wars likes to say, bantha milk.
Mhm.
Getting technical.
You don't want to see how they get it. I was scarred from that that scene.
Damn you, Rain Johnson. Next up is Darth Vader toast. Everyone's seen it.
You gotta get the toaster.
You gotta get the Darth Vader
Mhm.
toaster. Throw some bread in it. There you go. You're good to go. If you don't want to eat plain toast,
Go for some
put
Vader
some
toast.
stuff on it. I don't know.
Mhm.
Butter, jam, peanut butter. Also chocolate frosting.
On toast?
Yeah, why not?
Nutella. Let's go with Nutella. It's kind of like chocolate
It's the
frosting.
same thing.
No.
Whatever. You can put
World
whatever
of
you want on
difference.
toast. Next, Princess Leia cinnamon buns. That's right. You can wear them and you can
And
eat
then
them.
eat them.
It's a great snack. And last but not least, this one's not in the vein, but I feel like it's appropriate.
Okay.
Pizza. For Pizza the Hut
Pizza the Hut.
from
I'm bringing those
Spaceballs.
space balls into it.
Just bring a little Spaceballs in it
And then some yogurt for yogurt.
for yogurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because what snack goes with Yoda? No
Yogurt.
snack. No snack goes with Yoda.
Maybe a...
Soda Yoda.
There you go. Yoda soda.
Yoda soda. It's a high C. Ecto Cooler.
Ecto Cooler. Go for the green. I thought you were going to say like a Han salami sandwich.
Wah,
Wah, wah.
You can literally eat whatever snack you want and then just try to come up with a Star Wars name for it. Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
What are we watching next week?
HBO show
Ooh.
called
Uh-huh.
The Watchmen.
Ooh.
We're superheroes who aren't super.
They're literally superheroes without powers. Which means they're vigilantes, which means we can all be vigilantes.
That's right. Perfect.
So it's after the graphic novel, which is similar to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I know the movie doesn't have as much information as the graphic novel does. So
And this has even less. I don't know.
this has even less. So there's literally the graphic novel happened and like nothing else has come out since then. So this show will be a continuation of that.
Yes.
It's not from anything. It's from the mind of the creator.
David Lindelof.
Yes.
Well, I'll give you a little tidbit on some knowledge for it.
Ooh.
So, who did the original film? Zack Snyder.
Yes.
He was originally going to be the one who did the HBO series.
Oh.
Yep. And then it didn't work out.
I'm kind of glad it didn't. Because it looks way better than the movie.
Mm-hmm. And Lindelof is Lost, right? That's what he did?
Yeah.
So, we'll see if he brings his element of Lost.
They're all in purgatory. All this time.
I hope it's going to be equivalent to Lost seasons 1 through 4.
Ooh.
And then nothing after.
Maybe. Thank you guys for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and share. If you want to leave us a comment about how we just ruined everything for you, like Star Wars.
Werner Herzog, we ruined him.
Thank you guys, and we'll see you bingers next week.
Bye.